Julius Caesar was killed for freedom, and the most tragic irony is that his death helped create an empire. On March 15th, 44 BCE, the Ides of March, Rome did not just lose a man. It lost the last real chance to return to the old republic. The conspirators believed they were saving Rome from tyranny, but they misunderstood the storm they had already unleashed. Because Caesar was not a sudden accident in history, he was the result of a republic that had been breaking for generations. Rome was expanding fast, but its political system was built for a smaller city-state. Power, money, and armies grew, but the old rules stayed thin and fragile. Elections became warfare by other means. Bribery was normal, violence was common, and law often meant whichever faction had the muscle. Ambitious generals learned a dangerous lesson. Loyalty from soldiers could outweigh loyalty to the Senate. Caesar rose inside this world like a blade finding a crack. He was brilliant, charming, ruthless, and able to turn public opinion into a weapon. His victories in Gaul made him a hero to many and a nightmare to the elite. He returned with wealth, veteran soldiers, and a reputation that frightened his rivals. The Senate, led by men like Pompey's faction, demanded he'd give up command and face political attacks without protection. Caesar understood what that meant. In 49 BCE, he crossed the Rubicon, and Rome's rules broke in one step. That crossing was not just rebellion. It was a statement that the Republic's balance was already dead. Civil war followed, and Rome learned that blood can become a form of policy. Caesar defeated Pompey and hunted his opponents across the Mediterranean world. When Pompey was murdered in Egypt, Caesar entered a wider drama and met Cleopatra. Their alliance was political and personal, and it made Rome's elite even more anxious. Back in Rome, Caesar offered mercy to many enemies, but mercy can feel like humiliation to proud men. He accumulated offices, honors, and emergency powers, and each one made the Republic look more like a stage. The title dictator had once been temporary in Rome, but Caesar turned it into a lasting reality. When he was named dictator for life, many senators heard the word king without anyone saying it. Rome hated kings in its mythology, so fear became moral rage. A group of senators formed a conspiracy and convinced themselves they were the last defenders of liberty. The core included Brutus and Cassius, men who believed history would praise them. Brutus was especially symbolic because he was connected to Rome's old anti-king legends, and people wanted him to play that role. But conspiracies have a weakness. They can kill a person, but they cannot kill a problem. On the morning of March 15th, Caesar walked into the Senate meeting without real protection. Warnings had reached him, but pride and routine are powerful sedatives. The senators gathered Garm on the outside, with blades hidden under their togas. They approached him with a petition, and then the first strike landed. In a moment, the most powerful man in Rome became a target trapped in a crowd. He was stabbed again and again, and the Senate floor became a place of blood and panic. The assassins believed the Republic would breathe the moment he fell. Instead, Rome froze. The people did not rush to celebrate liberty, because most Romans were tired of elite games. Many feared chaos more than dictatorship, and Caesar had at least provided order and spectacle. The conspirators stepped outside expecting applause, but they found silence, confusion, and anger. They had removed a ruler, but they had not built a future. Then came Mark Antony, Caesar's ally, a man with instinct for power and crowds. Antony did not attack immediately, because he understood timing better than rage. At Caesar's funeral, Antony turned grief into a weapon. He displayed Caesar's wounds, spoke of betrayal, and made the crowd feel personally stabbed. The city erupted, and the conspirators realized they were now hunted men, not heroic saviors. Brutus and Cassius fled, gathering forces in the east, and the Republic slid into another civil war. But the most important figure was not Antony. It was Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir, young, cold, and underestimated. Octavian arrived in Rome like a quiet knife, claiming Caesar's name and inheritance. He used legitimacy as armor and ambition as fuel. For a time, Octavian and Antony allied, forming the second triumvirate with Lepidus. This alliance did what the Republic could no longer do. It legalized violence. They issued prescriptions, lists of enemies to be killed and robbed, and Rome became a marketplace of betrayal. Even Cicero, the great voice of the old Republic, was hunted and executed, a symbol of the Republic's death. Then the triumvirate hunted Brutus and Cassius. At Philippi, the conspirators were defeated, and the liberty they claimed to protect died on a battlefield. Now only rivals remained. Antony controlled the east and grew closer to Cleopatra, building a court that looked like a new royal world. Octavian controlled the west and sold himself as the defender of Roman tradition. He framed Antony as corrupted by the east, and Cleopatra as a foreign threat, and propaganda became a blade sharper than swords. The final clash came at Actium in 31 BCE. A naval battle that decided the future. Octavian won, Antony and Cleopatra fled, and the end arrived not with debate, but with inevitability. Both Antony and Cleopatra died, and Egypt became Rome's prize. Octavian returned to Rome with unmatched power, and the lesson Caesar had learned too late: do not look like a king. So Octavian did something genius and terrifying. He kept the Republic-esque clothing while removing its soul. He called himself Augustus, first citizen, and claimed he restored the Republic. But real power rested in his hands, in armies, money, and offices that could not be challenged. The Senate still met, elections still happened, and Rome still used old words. But the system had changed forever. This is why Caesar's assassination created an empire, because the murder proved that violence could decide politics. And once politics becomes violence, people beg for a permanent strong hand. The conspirators wanted freedom, but they delivered a message to Rome. The old republic could not protect even itself. Caesar died, but his name became a banner that others marched under. In trying to stop one man from becoming king, they opened the path for a smarter ruler to become emperor. And the empire that followed would shape the world for centuries. If you want more stories like this, like the video and subscribe to History Refuge.